Today I figured we'd look at some Sega Super Scalar games, those that ran on special boards and often came in very complex cabinets, although there were cheaper ones available, like basically every Outrun cabinet I've come across in a while. It's just a basic stand-up one. So we are going to be starting at the very beginning in the middle of 1985. It's Hang On. Yeah, okay, that's good. Let me know if audio and stuff sounds okay, because sometimes it can be inconsistent in MAME. Um, Things sound fine to me on my end, but it is slightly different for you. Sorry to hear that. I hope that troubleshooting goes better. I've been doing alright. I had a bit of a weird sleep, but I've not really been tired today, strangely, so just been kind of relaxing as usual. Yes, let's at least get some attempts in it. Okay, game could be turned up a bit. Is it? Let me see if it's like anything in the volume mixer, or if I should just outright um yeah, okay. I think, yeah, I will. Okay, is that any better? I increased it slightly, the overall volume. Yeah, I have realized actually that watching my VODs and stuff, just used to be that my microphone was really quiet for some reason. And I think it's gotten a bit better now, either because of audio settings, or that's because when I had my blue snowball, for whatever reason. So yeah, let's do some attempts with this game. It's a motorcycle game. It was released in July 1985, and yeah, it's the first Super Scalar game, and like a lot of them, was designed by Yu Suzuki. And the game's title is actually referencing to how bikers will sometimes hang off when doing jumps, but he didn't know the actual English term for it, so he thought it was hang on. Oh, I'm gonna restart. Yeah. For this game, at least, main controls work pretty well. That's always been a very big gamble with MAME in general with analog controls. Like, one of my actual stream ideas was to do System 32 games, but that didn't work out for a number of reasons, part of which just were, like, controls for even the racing games. Um... Huh. Okay. This is, as you can see, the one problem. Yeah, that is fair enough. You are still doing a lot of hanging on. It's just the particular technique he was going for. Um, Trying to remember what it was. It was something at Sega or some other company, but there was also some uh funny naming thing that, like, they just didn't realize had a completely different meaning in English. Oh yeah, okay. It was the Outrun song, Passing Breeze. He originally wanted to call it Passing Wind, not realizing that it had some other meaning. I actually don't know if that was Yu Suzuki himself or the composer, but yeah. So although this is positioned as a race, it really is a race against the clock, which, to be fair, a lot of early racing games tended to still be in that format. Whoa! Yeah, that's the other problem. I want to see if I could still make it after one crash. But yeah, basically you collide with any roadside object, your bike explodes, and you have to wait a while before you can catch up. Uh, So yeah, it is better to sometimes slow down a bit than you're worried you're... Or that happens. Yeah, I think we're gonna try resetting. I don't know how far I'm gonna make it in this game. I just wanted to show this one off because it is the very first one. Yeah, I mean, this is the first formula that was established for not only its direct sequels, but also, you know, Outrun, Enduro Racer, Power Drift. Which Power Drift is at least more of an actual racing game than just a time attack, but... Suzuki liked going fast, and he was going to make sure you felt that as much as you could, and with arcade technology at the time. Certainly, like, even just the color palette and stuff just looks impressive, much less everything smoothly moving and all the objects scaling in and stuff. That's been quite a treat to see back in the day. And yeah, unlike some of the other Super Scalar games, this one... The sequel, Super Hang-On, is a different game. It's not just this game with some updates. It has a whole bunch of other new stuff in it. Oh. Oh, come on. At least I could still see the other racers for now. Well, that at least didn't hinder me since that was in the opposite direction of where the signs were. Like, look at this one. Like, cut me off right in front of me. I think that's a pretty dangerous move if you're actually riding a motorcycle. I don't know, I'm no expert. I don't have a motorcycle license, but, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna win this one. Or even make it to the next checkpoint. It doesn't actually tell you how far you are. That's not something that will be added until later games. Well, at least they tell you at the end, but... Okay, interesting. You actually use the accelerator handle lever? I don't know what... I don't remember what the official term is. To, Yeah, I guess Knack Rider. I mean, I'm trying to remember how many other motorcycle games there were at the time. Yeah, throttle might be a good word. Probably were some top-down stuff. That was... Like, there was already Sega's own Turbo and Namco's Pole Position that were already popularized the behind-the-shoulder view. But... a lot of racing games up until this point were still top-down. Sometimes they were just kind of time attack, where you have to just keep an eye on your fuel gauge and avoid other cars, and then sometimes, yeah, they were trying to be an actual race. Okay, I'm gonna reset. This one did kind of codify the whole pseudo 3D effects, whether or not there was scaling, but... certainly influenced other companies, probably. Namco ended up making the System 2 board. It was arguably the first board that also housed regular arcade games. Like, it had standard joystick games, and then it had stuff like this kind of game. Like, I think in particular the Suzuka 8 Hours series. I'm known for that. Konami tried, but they didn't really get it working for a while. They only got background scaling. It was used in a racing game, Checkered Flag. I think they also distributed the first WEC Le Mans game. I guess in some areas. I don't know what kind of hardware that uses. And then... Yeah, they also had another game called Checkered Flag, which was just top-down, but did have rotation effects. And that was what really the Konami hardware at the time was capable of doing, also for games like Ajax. Sprite scaling, yeah, didn't really come in until about 1991 or so, 1990 I think even. And then eventually, yeah, Sega would just combine all their hardware with the System 32 board, which had games like this and regular arcade games that also featured a lot of scaling, because one thing Sega liked to do, it's always show off their effects. You know, I mean, so did the Neo Geo. That also had a lot of scaling, to come to think of it. In fact, everything was a sprite and could be scaled, so guessing that ADK and SNK were certainly inspired by these kind of games as well. I want to put that into their all-in-one arcade cabinet. Yeah, I guess you could say this game in particular, being the start of it all, was quite influential. Just even on how other companies would make arcade hardware. Of course, this wasn't the only one that could be classified as a specialized super scaler board. We'll be seeing more of those later, but this has the first two games. I'm gonna give this a couple more tries. This is enjoyable to play, but then, yeah, you get a collision and you're basically done. Yeah, Sega's arcade games certainly weren't easy, and Yu Suzuki games were certainly no exception with that. Basically, a lot of, especially some of his more simulation-based ones, which we wouldn't really be seeing. I mean, No Racer kind of, but I don't think any other ones quite come close in this era. That was my mistake. I had a bit of a misjudgment. Yeah, basically same. Like, I think at least an Outrun can kind of like take one crash in some places and maybe still recover, but or at least a smaller like spin out one. Maybe if you do get a full car flips over collision, it might not work. But yeah, definitely with at least two, you're not gonna have enough time. Like that one, I tried to swerve out the way, and I mean, I did mention before this is staged like a race, but this isn't actually a race. You don't have any sort of position. You're only really racing the clock. It's just that there are other bikes that are also theoretically trying to finish, but really just get in your way. Like that. And I imagine there is a bit of randomness into where they appear. At least like in this point. Whoa, okay. I thought I got out of my way there, but... Like, yeah, I guess braking and behind them does help sometimes, but... You're already going so fast, and the turns, if you do them all the way... So that's probably something where MAME control actually helps compared to the original. It is quite a bit easier on a regular analog joystick to kind of make these precise movements that you see. Even though on the actual, at least the deluxe cabinet, you would be leaning your bike handlebars pretty far to do that. Hi Petra, how many FPS? I think this game is 60. I think all of the Super Scalar games were originally 60, but maybe they had parts that were at 30. Like, I know Outrun, the road was originally 30, but I think the game itself ran at 60, and on the Saturn, you could up it, so it started running at 60 for both of those, and it looked smoother, but a bit weird for anyone who was just used to the arcade original. The 32X ports of Space Harrier and Afterburner also did run at 30, but I did have a consistent frame rate, and they looked like the arcade game. Okay. I was making it a bit farther, so I'm gonna try again a bit more, and then I think we might move on to the next one. I just don't want to be bashing my head at this forever. Yeah, that's how it was in old racing games. Everything was made of explodium. You touched anything, yeah. Not made to survive a collision. Probably didn't get a good safety rating, but I guess that's why they're racing vehicles and not regular road vehicles. But yeah, that yellow bike was clearly trying to bump me off the road. But at least I managed to get out in a way that did not result in me crashing into a sign. Unlike here, where I crashed into a shell sign. I don't know if that was licensed or not. And I assume it might have to be, but I would have to... Like, also that might mean that it might have been cut out of re-releases, but this is the original arcade version. Okay, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna move on to the next game. And that is, of course, Space Harrier. This one, another game by Yu Suzuki. This one was released in December 1985. It's personally one of my favorite arcade games, one that I have played on a deluxe cabinet once, and it's quite a joy to play there. Yeah, I mean, I know for Outrun in particular, there were some re-releases that didn't have the Ferrari, but certainly that was one of the reasons Outrun Online Arcade. In fact, it might have been the reason why that version was delisted. And that was the last release of that game, sadly. So yeah, this one is quite a bit different. This is not a racing game. Because it has Harry in the title. This was originally intended to be a jet-themed fighter, but was eventually changed to just be, you know, a very fantasy type. So let's get into it, and I'll explain more about that later, or shortly.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
Ah, there you go. So yeah, same designer and composer as before, but now it's more of a, okay. I was explaining stuff and did not notice getting shot, so I'm going to actually reset. Welcome
to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
So yeah, this one is kind of what you call a 3D shmup. I guess some people even call it a rail shmup, where you're just kind of running into the screen the entire time. And you can move around the X and Y axis and shoot things from there. So it's sort of a subgenre of shmup, but some people consider it outside of that, but that classification doesn't really matter. You're still moving around. How did I get hit by that? I thought I had dodged that. Okay.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
Yeah, so there were quite a few games like this. One of my favorites is Namco's Burning Force, which was on the aforementioned System 2. And kind of had you start out on a bike, and then you move up to other vehicles at the end of each mission. But yeah. This game was very much inspired by the film The Never-Ending Story. And, maybe even be able to see that if I can make it to one of the bonus stages, but... also, one other interesting tale is actually the palette from the sky. Originally, they wanted to just do a standard palette, but basically how it worked was, in typical Sega fashion, I'm just gonna take that death. Technically, I continue as much as I want, anyway. Yeah, in typical Sega fashion, if the higher-ups were walking by and they saw that your game looks complete, they would ask you to ship it. So, Yusuduki had actually rigged up a switch underneath his desk that would flush the color memory out, and that would result in everything kind of looking all jarbled. And so one time when he did that, he actually noticed, like, the sky looked pretty good. So he froze the RAM, got out the exact hex values, and decided to put that one in the final game. Oops. Yeah. In the first stage, you just got trees that you could shoot down. Here, yeah, you just kind of have to be careful not to crash into things. I think my PB on actual hardware was like stage 3, so yeah, I haven't made it terribly far. There are like 18 stages. I have made it a bit farther on like MAME and other console versions.
Get ready.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try Once a Thing for a bit, and then maybe I'll credit feed through this just to see more. But yeah, the only caveat with this version is that when emulating it, the original joystick was not self-centering, which is why you could just position yourself anywhere on the screen, but this doesn't really work here. Maybe if I tried an actual flight stick, but I think even then I tried that and it wasn't great. Hello, Elliot! How are you? Welcome! Well, I guess he's a bit hairier than some of the other ones, although it doesn't look way too hairy, but does still have a nice set of hair there. And yes, sir, yeah, that is definitely a Gundam on the title screen.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
I can assume that one wasn't licensed, although yeah, Sega was good, as I mentioned earlier, and generally in terms of licensing stuff. Even way back in Super Locomotive had the Yellow Magic Orchestra Strong ID'd, and it turns out in the cabinet there was actually a space where they put in the official sticker there, because back then, in order to license a song in Japan, all you actually needed to do was just get permission from the one agency. I think later on it changed so that individual record labels were in charge of that, like they are here and in other countries in the West. It wasn't quite that way back in 1982. Oops. I'm gonna reset. Yeah, okay, that's fair. That dragon does look kind of hairy. And that woolly mammoth definitely does too. I mean, it's a woolly mammoth, you know, not a bald mammoth. Gotta live up to a reputation of its name there. But yeah, I don't know. I just love the vibe of this game, the music, the whole aesthetic of it, and it's, yeah, a lot of fun to play, honestly. That is why I particularly let in that one with the stream announcements. Oh yeah, that's another thing in the first stage. These low-flying bushes won't actually destroy you. They'll just stun you briefly. Also, yeah, I do admit the voice clips do sound pretty clear for the time. I think Sega was pretty careful to use some advanced PCM technology, so... And that extended even to their non-super scalar boards. But... yeah, that's fair. Like, Hang On was certainly a neat showcase, and it's still fun to try it, but yeah, certainly compared to later at another super scalar game, and even this one. It's just interesting also just to see all the levels and the stuff that they put in there. I think it was a good job there going with the fantasy sci-fi setting. Yes, I mean, you could call it speculative fiction, but the fact that this was inspired, as you can see, by fantasy and sci-fi. Oh.
Get ready.
Gotta make sure also not to crash into the pillars. Okay. Yeah, I have to say, we gotta be at the boss soon. And just like that, the boss is down.
Get ready.
Yeah, I haven't really seen the holes that often. I think because when you are playing, it's hard to focus on that when you have to actually, like, dodge everything. I guess some people joke about shooting us seeing dodge on us. You know what, I'm just gonna continue now.
Get ready.
You can basically just add in as many credits as you want, and this just adds lives. So in theory, there's nothing stopping you from credit feeding your way to a high score, but whatever. I'm not claiming that I can do a 1cc run of this casually. Although I could probably learn it at some point, but... not yet. Okay. It's another dragon, except it's got two heads. Oh! No, I mistake. Oh.
Get ready.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is quite as impossible looking. It's certainly not easy. As I mentioned before, I've only gotten up to this stage on real hardware. Oh,
Get ready. Get ready.
yeah, I think that one starts shooting out more bullets. But here you see something different. Like that background? Well, too bad, because now there's a ceiling. And yeah, at this point you can't destroy any of the objects. I think that just changed a bit in later levels, but... yeah, you gotta be careful not to run into these alien-looking lampposts.
Get ready.
Yeah, I don't know, Petra, what the deal is with that. Why they would design a whole background and then... well, here we go, now you can see it. But only for the boss. And hey, it's a bunch of those domes.
You're doing great.
Anyway, after 4 stages, we get to the bonus stage, where here, yes, we do ride a hairy dragon, and the goal is to destroy as many of these objects as possible. As the dragon itself kind of moves in a sine wave pattern.
You're doing great.
Yep, that's the hairy dragon. And I'm pretty sure one of the questions in the Alex Kid in High Tech World game was to ask about what the name of a specific stage in Space Harrier is, so I hope you not only love Sega games, but you're good at that if you want to actually play that. But again, I haven't heard anyone actually talk about Alex Kid in High Tech World in so long, so I don't think you're really missing out on much. Also, one thing related to this game that I do want to show off at some point. This game, as you can guess, had quite a number of
Get ready.
home ports back in the day. The ones on Japanese computers were done by Dempa. I'm not even sure what this is, but
You're
the
doing great.
strategy is just to circle around. In fact, that seems to work for quite a bunch of enemies. Just to keep on circling around, because they're always going to shoot toward where you are. This doesn't really show up about elaborate bullet patterns. And hey, we even got the mammoth from the title screen now. How could you betray me like so?
Get ready.
So the X68000 port of this game, which is actually a feature that it shares with the PC Engine version, which makes me think that Dempa was at least consulted on that one, is that it has a striped font instead of checkerboards, but the actual interesting thing is not about that port itself, which was alright for the time, but certainly not really worth it today. It got a lot of homebrew versions. For whatever reason, people just really liked making sprite and sound edits of that particular game. And there are some interesting ones. I think there's like one where you play as kind of a Sailor Moon looking character.
You're doing great.
There's one I think where you even play as Lum and have to fight other Rumiko Takahashi characters. And then there's even one where you play as Ryu, as he appeared in the original Street Fighter, and instead of the dragon, it's like the Vic Viper with a bunch of options. Hello, Ramses! Welcome! I've seen you around. It is good to see you here. How are you doing? Yeah, that is true. I'm not sure if you have seen that actually, but I managed to find one of those controllers for pretty cheap, like 3,300 yen. So I'm not sure how I managed to find, but it actually, yeah, it works. Like I tested out with was it Night Arms? I think, yeah, Night Arms. I only have an X68000 to test it. I don't actually own a Mega Drive or any adapter that would let me work with Mist or anything, but yeah, it was. Yes, I know. I'm just pointing out that I can't test it out with some of the Mega Drive stuff. Just
Get ready.
believe me, that X68000 was a lot more expensive, but I was willing to go for it. And hello, Chaotic Claw. How are you doing? Welcome. Yeah, I've been doing alright. Just having a relaxing Sunday, playing some games I enjoy, and that includes this one especially. Oh, this boss has a creepy looking face. So yeah, even though Afterburner 2 and Galaxy Force, I'm pretty sure those were not ported by Dempa, those were ported by CRI, who later on would find life as a middleware company, but SRI porting games didn't quite go the best, especially not with Galaxy Force 2, and did they also do Outrunners, or was that someone else? I don't remember. Outrunners is a System 32 game, so we're not going to be looking at that one today for sure. Yeah, oh right, that is something else that I've got, because I did mention earlier during Hang On some of the 32X, ports. So some of the former staff of Dempa actually founded, Rutsibo Games, and that, worked on the ports of this and Afterburner on the 32X. But interestingly,
You're doing great.
you can kind of see some of the stuff here in terms of like the walking stream on the ground. From what I've heard, although I haven't tested out extensively, that doesn't quite work the same way on that version.
Get ready.
And then that was the one that they used on the basic for the Saturn port, which makes sense because that shares the same architecture. And then for the Dreamcast, again, similar architecture. And that just became the basis for all future ports after that, even though those are technically emulation. Aw. So yeah, it is interesting that in that one, I think there was some fan site that like first discovered and pointed out, because yeah, all those are good ports, and I certainly would recommend if you got like Yakuza 0,
Get ready.
or another game that has this one to try this out. Even though I think that still doesn't solve the centering joystick issue. Interestingly, up and down work normally in this version. I think there might be a dip switch setting. In fact, I'm gonna check that right now. Just no, it doesn't actually give you that. Huh, that's weird. I know certainly some of the later ports did allow you to swap how you wanted the controls, but here, yeah, it's just normal Y-axis, not inverted like you would expect.
Get ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, mine wasn't the best condition either, and certainly at that price in a junk listing, I
Doing great.
wasn't expecting too much. If I was disappointed, I'd be like, okay, whatever. I still like to have this controller, and it does work. I also have seen people that have managed to successfully take it apart, that the microcontrollers needed to move those 3 analog axes is quite big, which is why that controller itself is big, so... Even though it certainly inspired other later controllers on Sega and Microsoft systems that didn't quite need all that size.
Get ready.
Yeah. I also remember I didn't quite try it out in Afterburner because of a hard drive issue. You see, basically, I had bought my system actually expecting that I would eventually be able to put an internal hard drive. It came with like an 80 megabyte SCSI drive that died actually after I bought it. Like, it worked briefly and then it died.
Get ready.
But the problem is, so that means that any external drive that I put in for my blue SCSI has to be set to drive B. And that's annoyingness in some of the ways that the games are configured to actually boot. So sometimes, even if I try editing it, for whatever reason, Afterburner just did not like that. Unfortunately, I have not been able to open the case yet to actually take out the original drive. Here's another bonus stage. Yeah, those tabs are really... For whatever reason, those tabs are just on really tight, and even after removing the screws, I just have not been able to get it off yet. Apparently, that is not an issue particularly just to mine, but I just can't even figure out what the technique that someone had said on that forum. Yeah, this is my X68000. Specifically, I got a Super HD model, which are the easiest to work with in terms of hard drive expansions, and technically the last of the 10 megahertz models, but... Yeah, it's just unfortunate that one of the reasons I bought this one is actually working against me now. Hopefully I'll figure that out eventually.
Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah, I mean, these ones, just due to the tightly packed components and stuff, were not always the easiest to work on, but at least there were some things that I could do. Like, for a while there, the Beep Shop, which was actually a major source for some of these aftermarket things, and even some new games to this day. Yeah, okay, I think here you just want to circle around. See? That works just fine. Sells replacement power supplies. Unfortunately, they're all out of stock currently, but I do know someone that has an original model that could use it, but if, oh wow, I just ran right into that.
Get ready.
Yeah, they've sold quite some stuff. They're also the distributor of the modern
Get ready.
Modern re-release of Cotton, that Ease 1 and 2 compilation. Because Ease 1 originally got a weird port, and Ease 2 didn't even come over to that system. And,
Get ready.
and a bunch of other accessories, like... They also do sell, full computers at the original shop, and those
Get ready.
are pretty high priced, but the games are often, that they have loose are not. But if I do ever go out of Japan, I'm certainly checking that place out.
Get ready. You're doing great.
Yeah, that's where they got that, I think.
Get ready.
Yeah, there are certainly a lot of things that I would like to try when I go to, if I ever do go to there, and
Get ready. Get ready.
I think they're the same as the Yugen that lists a lot of stuff on Yahoo Auctions that usually gets a lot of demand, because anything that they tested to work is gonna guarantee to be in good condition, or at least in good enough condition.
Get ready.
Okay, I just ran right into that.
Get ready.
So about this game, yeah. As most of you probably know, the next year Sega did release a game on the System 16, called Fantasy Zone, which technically takes place in the same universe, maybe beforehand, I don't know, but,
Get ready.
that one was a, side-scrolling shmup, so that one is quite a bit different, but... Well, technically related, and there will be other stuff, like the fact, actually, the X68000 version of Fantasy Zone, which is also by Dempa, contains a hidden space harrier level that you have to do by beating the first 7 levels. By each of the first 7 levels, if you destroy a base in a specific order, like starting from all the way from the right at the first stage, and second from the right and second, and so on, then you collect coins that eventually spell a harrier. Fortunately, that game itself is pretty tough, so I've only been able to do it with save state. And then there was even a planned game for the PC Engine that sadly was not released, called Space Fantasy Zone. And that one, I think did star Opa Opa, but did play like this game, and maybe had some other elements from both of them in there, so... That would have been neat. Although, the PC Engine, besides for just having the, possibly Dempa-influenced port of, this game, did also have some other space harrier legs, because that was a pretty popular genre still. Also, the Mega Drive, too, besides for just that one, and even having a port of Burning Force. But also, like, Hanarana, Cotton, and stuff.
Get ready.
There was a sequel to this, though, as a launch title, Space Area 2. But due to the limitations of the system initially, and the developers just not really grasping it that well at that point,
Get ready.
Space Area 2 runs kind of bad. On the Mega Drive Mini 2, you can actually, even on the Genesis Mini 2, yeah. So I think here, yeah, you have to destroy the two dogs before you can shoot the giant. Or at least not destroy, but shoot them enough times. Okay, there we go.
You're doing great.
So yeah, here is the boss rush.
Get ready.
Yeah, there was a Space Area 3D that took advantage of the 3D glasses. That one is also, it's a neat game, although not really. But yeah, so yeah, there are versions, in fact, and also even a port of the original Space Area that was basically to the hardware that they codenamed the Mark V, because the Master System is actually the Mark IV, as in the console called the Master System because that was based on the Mark III hardware, which is a bit weird, but the Master System did get its own release in Japan later. Oh, you do. I mean, yeah, you do need a CRT to see them, but it works the exact same as the NES ones, actually, from what I heard. Like, it uses the same 3.5 millimeter
Get ready.
jack, so as long as you have a compatible display, it's interesting. Funnily enough, the XX8000 port of Fantasy Zone, I believe, has a hidden 3D mode, but hardly any commercial glasses are available.
Get ready.
For whatever reason, Sharp included a 6-pin DIN connector instead of the usual TRRS connector. Yeah, so here's the actual first boss for some reason that we're fighting third. But it works the same way, so if you really wanted to, I guess you could wire one up yourself. But I think that was the only game that actually supported it. Just because it was a very uncommon thing for people to have. Even compared to like the NES and Master System. Kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's not too much in demand. I mean, you have to consider the Venn diagram of people with compatible monitors who own that would be pretty small.
Get ready. Get ready.
Circling around didn't quite work too well for that part. We can also see all the boss names.
Get ready.
Yeah, and then years later, in 2000, there was another sequel, Planet Harriers, on the Hikaru board, which was a pretty short-lived Sega board. It was a big step up graphically over the Naomi, but due to that, it was also more expensive and less reliable, so it only had a few games for it. I think NASCAR Arcade was one of the other few ones. I was not paying attention there.
Get ready.
That one is interesting. Unfortunately, when I try to emulate it, it can sometimes have quite a bit of graphical oddities, but and it's certainly a game that I would love to see Cabin of Fiber do know where one is.
Get ready.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there are any other official Space Harrier games. There are, of course, ports. You can play the actual, not the Master System Space Harrier 3D, but the 3DS Space Harrier 3D on one of the Sega Ages collections for that system. Might have been one of the Japanese ones, but yeah, that one is probably based on the same port that I mentioned for the Saturn and Dreamcast, etc. But Yeah, the 3DS Sega arcade collections are really good. In fact, after getting a 3DS and modding it, that was the first thing I put on there. I haven't played it too much, mostly because I have an original model and it's kind of cramped, but... yeah, here we go. This is Uria, our dragon friend. Wow, you even get points as you ride off into the sunset. Yeah, might be. I'd have to look into that. But yeah, as I mentioned... oh, I got a raid. Oh, Analia! Hello, cutie. How are you doing? Wait, oh, right, I have a limited amount of time. I got distracted there. This is a credit feeding attempt, so, yeah. Maybe eventually I will try to learn this game straight through, but now is not the time. So yeah, how was the rest of your stream there? I know you were playing Rhapsody 2. So let's see, is there anything next after the Super Scale that's before Outrun? It doesn't look like it. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the summer of 1986. Aww. I hope you pet them. So... yeah! Okay. Yes, for those of you who might be in the stream and don't know me, hi, I'm Claire. I played a lot of retro, obscure stuff and just things I feel like. Ah, thank you. Hearing them salient. Oh. Okay, yeah, it is on that same button there. Okay, Yuri has a redeemed self-care package. I actually forgot to get a water bottle, so give me 1 second while I go down and get that. Be back in a minute. Okay, I am back and I have gotten a drink, and now we are ready to try Outrun. I've also never actually finished this one. Hi, Ori! It's good to see you. How are you doing today? Oh, thank you. Let's just start with this one.
Get ready.
So yeah, certainly one of the most well-known of this era of Sega arcade games is Outrun. Based on Yu Suzuki's love of Ferraris. This one is really one of the first games to have just regular drivers on the road instead of other people trying to race you. So, of course, it functions the same way as like the other racers in Hang On, but definitely gives it a bit of a different feel. And once again, same composer here. Got 3 amazing tracks to choose from. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just reset once. So this is actually technically on upgraded hardware. I think MAME just calls this. Yeah, MAME just calls this Outrun hardware. It was a bit upgraded from the original Super Scalar hardware that powered Hang On and Space Harrier. You know, we'll just. I'll try at least actual run with all the songs. My personal favorite is Splash Wave, in case you were wondering. The Genesis port of this added in another song, Step on Beat, and then actually the 3DS version added 2 other songs after that honestly sound really good. I think those were, at least one of them was done by Manabu Namiki, so really did a good job there. Yeah, this part is designed to be easy, ease you into the game. Okay, whatever, that was not really much of a problem. Yeah, I think I'll go left now. But you see, now the roads are getting tighter. I also do like the way the... okay. I'm gonna take this one, but... Yeah, as you can see, there's also a lot of time trying to get past up... trying to get back up to speed. I'd have to say, I like the actual, like, sounds of the car engines when you pass them, but I just can't seem to pass another car. Yeah. Unfortunately, the only cabinets I've ever seen in this game are the stand-up variety. But yeah, I do like hearing the engines to the left and right of you. Okay, that's gonna be another reset. Once again, still gonna try this song.
Get ready.
But yes, I mean, this game has such a good vibe that they named an entire synthwave subgenre after it, even though this game doesn't really have that kind of music or you know, that kind of grid aesthetic either. I just find funny, but like this is jazz fusion basically. A lot of Sega composers in general are inspired by the 2 major jazz fusion bands in Japan, T-Square and Cassiopeia. And you can certainly hear their influence in some of the famous songs. In fact, pretty much one of the entire Cassiopeia album was basically inspiration for music of one of the games that we might be seeing later today. So yeah, you just can't really go wrong with this game. Unless you just get frustrated at constant crashing, which can happen. Okay. Like also, yeah, these cars don't seem to understand how to stay in their lane. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I have a theory that I could still take one crash like this. So, I'm hoping that still works. Yeah, that's another thing. It's just a nice vibe. It's a simple, you don't have to think way too much. And it certainly is enjoyable no matter how far you get. Oh, okay. I don't know what happened there. I think I'm gonna try passing Breeze now.
Get ready.
Oh, thank you so much for the pets, Roxas. How are you doing? Yeah. Unfortunately, this game is stingy. Well, I think all the Sega racing games like this work the same way. You run out of time, your vehicle immediately goes to a complete stop. And if you didn't manage to pass through the checkpoint right at the end, well, tough luck. It's over. Hi, thank you so much. I'm gonna have to read that more carefully when I have a chance, but... yeah, I'm gonna set that. Ah, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Oh, I forgot to update the game name. Alright, yeah, thank you for reminding. Is it with a space in the middle or not? I suppose it doesn't really matter, but...
Get ready.
yes, this has neither space nor Harriers. Which I guess is why it's called Outrun. Then again, for Space Harrier, because after the initial jet concept, Harrier just became the name of the player character. So... okay, somehow I took that too much inside.
Get ready.
Okay, I chose Splash Wave by accident. Whatever, that is my favorite song, so we're going with that. Yeah, that's a good one. It could have outs and runs. It would be more like a baseball game. I don't know, maybe you expect me to like Magical Sound Tower Rest because it has magic in the name, but... I don't know, I've always just enjoyed this one the most. Oh, okay, come on. Yeah, the Outrun 2 engines are really good. Okay, I'm just gonna try once before Splash Wave. I'm like, not even making it that far, past the first checkpoint. They have made it farther. In fact, I played Outrun 2006 a while ago on this channel. I think I have the highlight of that somewhere, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I also do like the 2 instrumental tracks that are added to that one. Risky Ride and Shiny World. Those were done by the original composer. So, guess it's no surprise, really. Vocal tracks I'm kind of on. Okay, there we go.
Checkpoint.
Oh, okay, come on. Yeah, I mean, 2006 is nice for just running on PC. Also is the most complete version of the game in terms of having Outrun 2 and Outrun 2 SP content. I think one of those had to be removed from online arcade to fit the size limitations of digital distribution games at the time. At least on consoles. It was like a measly 512 megs, which is pretty staggeringly low to think about today, but when you consider what kind of titles probably Microsoft was considering for Xbox Live Arcade, I guess it kind of makes sense. Okay. Let's see how far we actually made it. Almost. I'm not gonna even bother.
Get ready.
I do like how the, sorry, I do like how the, ending theme there, Last Wave, actually plays, into the title screen. Even when you're done with that. Oh, wait. I was thinking about that and got distracted and forgot to shift up. Yeah, I didn't actually get my 360 until like 2011, so I can definitely see that. Also, I don't know why, but that series of turns just used to be really infuriating for me to take, and I like, it doesn't seem that hard now, so I don't know what the problem was. Like, I've also seen other people struggle with that particular set, and yet you don't really even need to brake. I don't know, maybe it's the way MAME's controls are set up that actually works to my advantage now. I wouldn't be surprised if they were tuned around these type of games. Because certainly other ones like Namco are just, like, impossible. Hi, Loot Crate! How are you doing? Welcome. It's good to see you here. I am attempting to outrun. To sort of, the better results than last time at least, but like I might actually make it to the third stage. Let's see. Yep, just barely. And you see, also, this is where hills really start to become an issue. Because you can't really see that far in front of you. In fact, like, just trying to render these hills and get them to look smooth was a problem, certainly with the Master System version, but even a lot of other ports at the time just either had to forego them completely or try to do them in their own choppy way. So that was a pretty advanced feature for the time. I don't think I'm going to make it, unfortunately, this time, but yeah, okay, just barely. Oh, that's nice. I think I'm gonna try one more go at this and then maybe just move on to the next one. That actually felt reasonable for a kind of run that I do. Yeah, I mean, I don't have my Saturn set up for streaming, but I do have, my Saturn set up with the Fenrir, so I can play that. And I have the 3D pad, of course, which does help. And that port, yeah, it has the smooth 60 FPS road option and a range soundtracks, at least in the Japanese release. I'm not sure if I think those might have been cut out for the North American port because they included 3 games on one disc. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with Magical Sound Shower again. Oh, wait, why am I... Hello, Nekosune. This version I am playing is in MAME, so this is the arcade original. I'm actually not sure what the Saturn switcher is. Mostly because my Saturn adventures have been pretty recent in terms of real hardware. It's only been like the last year or so that I've actually gotten stuff. Like I bought a Japanese model, originally played a lot of disc game-based games, and I still have a decent collection of some of the stuff there, and then eventually decided it was no longer worth it to look for new ones. I'm gonna reset. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have another Saturn, actually, Model 2 that I got for cheap. That I use just in case I ever want to play a disc game, but that hasn't come up yet. Okay, I'm just gonna let R&D decide. Yeah, Nekasune, I'm not sure which version, if you are talking about the Saturn version, or like the 3DS version. Because I do have the 3DS version, but once again, I have no way to stream 3DS games, and I'm unlikely to. Like, at least with the Saturn, I'm like 1 or 2 pieces of hardware away from theoretically being able to do that, but the 3DS, I would have to actually mod or get a modded one. Oh right, there is a Switch version. I forgot that it was on Switch, so that would certainly be the easiest. But yeah, I'm just looking at as they were originally released in the arcade. Okay.
Get ready.
Oh yeah, that's actually interestingly when I started. Okay, I'm gonna reset because I don't know why I forgot about the gear. Factoria, because when I got my Fenrir working, yeah, I just started constantly lighting the disk access. And, so I don't know if that's like a normal thing that other people have or not. It doesn't affect performance or anything, but it's just interesting. Hi, Petra! It's good to see you, cutie. Wow, I have 2 cute bats in the stream. Yeah, and well, Nekosino, yeah, I would say that certainly is worth bragging about. I do really want to play that port of Phantasy Star 1. So in terms of X68000s, Fel, I've heard the OSSC will actually capture all of the different resolutions and screen modes just fine. So I think that there. No, I got the Fenrir Duo actually, and I don't have anything else hooked up besides for the ribbon cable and the power, and yet somehow for whatever reason, it's just constantly on. I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna change it as long as it works, because I had to figure out how to actually align the ribbon cable properly. And unfortunately, with no visual feedback until you get it right, it's hard to say, okay, is this just the problem with my ribbon cable? Did I just configure it wrong, or is it like my SD card or something? But yeah, if I do get an OSSC, which certainly is on the menu, you know, I'm just gonna start this one. Especially if the Pro comes out soon, which I know they've been teasing that. So once that comes out, or the regular one comes back in stock, and I just get that, yeah, that would probably be my easiest solution for capturing most things. Like, certainly you can do X68000 Saturn and Dreamcast, so that leaves, basically, aside from the Mister, that's like all of the hardware that I really want to capture that I can. Anything else is like a Neo Geo Pocket Color that I just can't output at all. Yeah, you know, and I might as well continue this one. It was only a slight, same thing with that one. Fortunately, it's kind of hard to avoid when you have to turn just to... Yeah, honestly, I do think that emulation has overall gotten a lot better over the years. Especially, like, because I originally used XM6 Type G, and that had, like, layering issues in Castlevania. And it also made Aqualess just completely unplayable because by the time you get into the second stage, you actually go underwater. The water would not be transparent at all. But then Type G came out, and that fork actually...
Get ready.
And that fork, yeah, it worked much better, and that's the one that I've been kind of doing with lately when I needed to emulate, especially before I got my real one. Yeah, in terms of actually getting games on there, so yeah, Necrosino, you weren't here for my talk. I use a Blue SCSI, which is a device created by, I think, yeah, Ron's Computer Museum, that will emulate any sort of SCSI device off an SD card. And the great thing about it is you don't actually have to format the SD card at all. It's just a regular FAT32 or exFAT. Just gonna restart. FAT32 or exFAT formatted SD card that
Get ready.
yeah. You just put in a disk image onto, and it will recognize it and mount it as a SCSI drive. And you can even do that for ISOs for like a CD-ROM drive or other things. So it works out great. I have one mounted to the back. Yeah, the only issue is the model that I purchased, I particularly purchased because it has an internal drive. So I also bought an internal one, and it's just my external one that I also use on my Mac SE. Yes, this is where Claire gloats about all her old hardware she managed to acquire at cheap prices, or cheap-ish prices, except for the X68000. That was like normal market price, so it's still expensive, but...
Get ready.
Problem is, so it had an original 80 megabyte SCSI hard drive in there. It worked for like a couple times after I booted it. Then it died, which I expected. I didn't really expect to use that one. But I wanted to open it up, take that one out, and then put the internal Blue SCSI in. Problem is, I haven't been able to get the case open yet because the case itself is just, like, the plastic tabs are just too annoying to get out, and I have not been able to put in that one yet. So the X68000 still detects that there is something connected to that cable there, so it still assigns that dead drive as drive A, and my... okay, I'm gonna give one more try. And also, hello, Jarrett! Welcome, how are you doing?
Get ready.
I've been doing alright. Just been enjoying some arcade games that I like. I've been looking at a few Superscalar games. Well, so far we've only been at 2. Yeah, so which means that my actual X68000 is at drive B, and the configuration that they set up in order to load those games off the hard drive image are designed if the hard drive is your primary drive. So I had to either edit things manually in the batch files, and then sometimes it just still wouldn't work afterwards. So it's just some annoyingness. Although the only games I'd actually buy for X68000 these days are interesting looking Dojin ones. Eventually I want to dump those, but I would probably have to do a roundabout method right now of getting them off, of like getting them onto a folder on my Blue Scuzzy, then putting that into an emulator and writing that to a blank disk image. Because unfortunately I don't have any other 5 1/4 inch drives at all. I've tried looking for a while, but they are not the easiest to come by. And that's assuming that the one computer that it could potentially run, have one in there, would be able to, which is Dell Dimension I got from a thrift store that from around 2000, 2001. Because growing up, my family had one of the L series, which I think we got secondhand from like a family member. Okay, I think this is gonna be my last serious attempt, if I could get to the checkpoint at least. Yeah, we had a family member who used to service a lot of these computers, and when he was done with them, he would give them to us because my parents were not the most technologically minded. So eventually I decided to look and see like some of the other stuff they had in that range at the time, and got the 4100, which is a mid-range model, and I've upgraded the TNT2 car that it came with to an ATI 9600. So I don't use it too much, but it's fun to play around sometimes. Okay, how did that completely stop? Come on.
Get ready.
Yeah, also not going to say the X68000 does have a lot of good ports, some of which do have unique features. But even beyond that, there are certainly other original games. I think Aqualus is my favorite of those, but pretty much anything by Exact also, especially like a 12 Princess and Geograph Seal are really good. And then, yeah, there are a lot of other nice original games. And interesting computer ports, but most of those are in Japanese. Like, the best versions of Zack 1 and Lagoon are on the X68000, but you'll have to know Japanese if you want to actually play them, unless someone has translated those versions. Or you use like an emulator with Textractor, which I've seen Ann K do recently. She was using some weird Java-based emulator or something in order to get it to work with that plugin, but was able to like in real time find the text output and run that over through a translator. So you got the basically most of the text that you meant to understand, and then you could even play like some of the adventure games and stuff on there. Oh my! Oh, there are like 3 trucks right there. I wanted to get stuck behind 3 trucks. I just go driving the highway. No, they're certainly not. Yeah, so that would still be one of the things that I would still want to do with emulation potentially if I could get that working. Okay, you know what? I think I'm done with this one. Let's see what's next that I want to play. Okay, I think the next one was Enduro Racer. That game is difficult, but I'll give it a couple tries. Although the copyright says 1986, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me see if I could find the source and like I'm pretty sure this one. No, it was 1986. Okay. Because sometimes games will have the initial copyright date of when they were announced and expected to be released, but then if they didn't come out until a bit later, like Darius 1 has the copyright date of 1986, even though that one didn't actually come out until 1987. Okay. Okay, this doesn't even. Yeah, homebrew is interesting. Certainly, yes. I would like to see, like, someone actually try to port Mega Drive Sonic 1. Because I've seen, Master System Sonic 1 be ported to the Commodore 64, but I would like to see how the actual, Genesis version compares to other ones. Super Turbo for 32X, yeah, that would be interesting to see, too. I'm honestly not sure if 32X hardware would benefit too much of it, just because of the, large ROM size that would require for all the animation stuff. That 1 to 5 on Genesis, well, yeah, that run probably could, although I think the actual like PC 9821 may have been a bit faster, but probably could manage it. And yeah, Super Mario Brothers 1, I certainly think they put Super Mario Brothers 1 back in the day on far less deserving systems. So yeah, this is Enduro Racer, quite a bit of a different game. This one, as you see, as in the hills from Outrun over there, and yeah, as I mentioned, it's pretty tough. Yes, Super Mario Brothers Special. Someone did make a hack that actually adds in the level design to the NES version, so you don't have to quite play it because, yeah, that was. Okay, wait, hold on, give me 1 second. I think I hear someone at the door.
Go! Go!
Well, that turned out to not be anything important. Let's try this again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the 32X was really more designed around sprite scaling and basic 3D, so I couldn't. Okay, that was terrible. So yeah, it wasn't really designed around 2D games like Street Fighter. It had some good ports, but yeah, they might have just been taking advantage in general of What? Okay, how did I slide off that? Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of the 32X. Might want to ask someone like Nicole Express. Probably understand a lot more than me, but yeah, it ran on two SH2 processors. In fact, the same ones that were used... Okay, how is that happening? It had the same kind of CPUs that were in the Saturn, just a bit earlier. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Yeah, they weren't clocked as fast either, but... And certainly in the graphical hardware, it did not have the same VDP system. Saturn did. Maybe if I hold forward. Yeah, okay, there... No! Okay, somehow I made that jump one time, and I've not been able to do so since. I have no idea why. But I think in terms of allowing the hardware to output more colors and more sound channels and stuff, that you could do. I mean, you could also do that in a Sega CD, but then... Yeah, okay, what am I doing wrong here? I don't understand this. Yeah, because the Sega CD actually had its own Motorola 68000. It actually clocked higher. Okay, there we go. I just held down the entire time, and that somehow worked. As well as I could do sprite scaling and rotation, and had more colors compared to the Genesis. Like, it was basically designed to make up for the weaknesses of the Genesis hardware that it originally had. Okay, I see my problem here. I jumped and immediately crashed onto a rock and exploded. Let's hope I can make the checkpoint still.
Checkpoint.
Just barely. Yeah, also, that fight game that I... Oops. Yeah, honestly, a lot of developers didn't. I mean, part of it was just like the novelty of CD games, and then certainly the whole FMV push and people not really knowing what video games were going to be like. But I think of all the developers, actually, Core Design might have been the ones that really got some of the most impressive looking stuff on there. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try get like one more good run, and we'll see. Yeah, those kind of games, I think, certainly benefited from the hardware, and couldn't be done even if you didn't account for like CD audio and stuff. Which, you know, having enhanced versions of games is nice, but then, yeah, it does make people question why they would pay for, you know, a $400 add-on when they could just be playing the same games, essentially, on their 200 or less than that even. The Sega Genesis was already priced out by then pretty hard as their marketing strategy, which worked. Essentially, you were paying less than $200 to play same things that you would have to pay a lot more. Okay, I made it to the checkpoint at least.
Checkpoint.
But yeah, this game is not very forgiving. In fact, I'm pretty sure if I crashed even once at this point, I'd be done for. Yep. Yeah, Sega CD Snatcher is interesting because, yeah, that game was originally only on PC-88 and MSX. Okay. I think I'm done with Enduro Racer, so that leads us to next game here. In fact, one time years ago on eBay, I saw like a JVC XI bundled with Snatcher for $600, and of course I couldn't afford it back then, but um, it's funny because that would have been a bargain even at that time. Certainly now. So let us move on to Afterburner 2 because yes, there was an original Afterburner, but this is basically just a revision that improves stuff, including, for example, adding in the toggleable speeds. But yeah, this one is certainly classic. Oh, I would love one of the original Wonder Megas. Um, I know the Sega models are technically the ones that are more sought after, but functionally the Victor and Sega ones are the same. Just the second revision has some differences, which became the XI. Yeah, but I probably will never get a hold of that one. Okay, sure. Okay, yeah, I think everything is. Wait, actually, I didn't see. You know what? I'm gonna do Vulcan. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like, just because of good emulation and Mister and stuff, like, I don't feel compelled to collect for that. Like, honestly, all of my Saturn X68000 and Neo Geo Pocket Color and other, So yeah, this was a, This was another classic that, unfortunately, I've only seen stand-up cabinets of. Oh, those were quite expensive too. It was like over $1 credit. Uh, but yeah. Oh yeah, the latter part is certainly fair. That is one of the reasons why I still like playing some of the ports on my Saturn, because then I could use my small Panasonic CRT for that. Honestly, if I got a Famicom, it would probably be like a twin Famicom. Sometimes you could find those for pretty cheap. But I don't know. I've never actually seen an auction all the way through, so maybe those are one of those that sometimes people list for low and then can get it much higher. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna play this one all the way through, like Space Harrier. Yeah, this one's quite fast-paced, and you can get shot down pretty easily. I don't know, I just like the look and style of the Twin Famicom. I am not sure if you could at all use that FDS stick. I'm assuming you can. And I also know there is like some weird sound thing you'd have to patch, but... So yeah, one of the features of this revision is allowing the throttle, in particular, to activate it all the way. Oh, okay. The FDS stick doesn't work on that. Okay, so there might be some other way, but I don't know. Maybe you are in less luck for that because. Yeah, so I'm saying, so that's why I'm not really compelled to collect for a lot of systems, because just not worth the money and space and everything. Just focus on a few of them that I really like.
Get ready.
But yeah, unlike Space Harrier, this game actually did get quite a few successors in the arcade after its original version between that one and its more semi-modern, I don't know, yeah, it really is a modern update. Fortunately, it's kind of hard to talk and dodge a missile at the same time. So first there was G-Lock Air Battle, which, that game's main gimmick was the R360 cabinet, which would completely rotate you around as you played. I am pretty motion sickness prone in some cases, so I cannot imagine what it'd be like for me to actually play that. So I think it's best that I never tried one. Oh, come on. Did I actually miss the reload weapon, or are they gonna let me do that? Yeah, it's actually been hit or miss sometimes with me with cartridges. Floppies, generally, the like all the Dojin X68000 stuff that I've gotten, works pretty well. Like, it's all booted at least. Some of the errors might have just been stuff that you still had back in the day. So yeah, I was explaining with G-Lock, Air Battle. And that one, I think, put you kind of more in, like, inside the cockpit perspective. And then there was an update to that called Strike Fighter, which I guess used a more conventional cabinet, like maybe not quite as much as the R360, or maybe it could work with that. I don't actually know. But yeah, I can imagine that, Petra. This has some very nice detail in the background. Certainly, the way everything flies by fast. It's hard to appreciate when you are actually playing it. And here we actually land, and I think that's supposed to actually be the bike from Hang On. Oh, I thought I got hit there, but I think it was actually my missile connecting. There, I died, though. Yeah, I think either G-Lock or Strike Fighter ended up getting ported to the Mega CD, and that was called Afterburner 3. And I don't know why in particular that one, other than the fact that Sega kind of had a policy of not releasing ports of games when they already released it on a previous system. So maybe because they already had Afterburner on Genesis, they didn't want to put it out. Oh, okay. I tried to slow down, but I don't think I managed to in time. And again there, but yeah, at least that had the arranged music from the FM Towns version of Afterburner. So yeah, this stage is kind of different. You're going through a canyon. I think all this stuff is like enemy bases and stuff, so you can just shoot it down. So it's a nice little bonus stage there. You can also like hear your shots ricochet off the canyon walls. So, and I crashed into it. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, sometimes there certainly were games that could be done better, but because they were... Okay, there we go. I managed to throttle, and I got hit by another thing. The most effective way to dodge the missiles to already be shot down, so that way, their missile just goes off on its own. Yeah, so then, in 2000, actually, there was a successor to Strike Fighter called Sega Strike Fighter, confusingly enough. That one actually used a 3-screen cabinet. I have seen the arcade version a couple times, various places. I think both times even the marquee was in Japanese. Oh no, I still managed to get hit by that one. And that game was interesting to play, but it is definitely more flight simmy than the previous Afterburner games. So it can be hard sometimes just to stay on course. Yeah, like you can even see your shots skim the ground in this game. They're just a lot of neat little touches that he really couldn't do on any other hardware at the time. So yeah, I wanted that to be until 2006, where they would actually release the first proper Sprinter sequel to WoW. And hey, look, it's a Ferrari from Outrun, called Afterburner Climax, the game where you can't even set the title in Twitch because then it'll. Thank you, Linalia. Hold on, I'll meet out when I have a chance. And yeah, that one kind of restored the spirit of the original gameplay. Oh, even Automod got it. Yeah. It's kind of funny with the title. Yeah, even though it's a valid Twitch category, you can't actually set your title to say that. Also, Linalia, thank you for the meow, 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 meow. No, Yuria, we can't actually, I don't think you can talk about that F-Zero game either. That I haven't seen in particular, I don't know, I guess people don't talk about the GBA ones as much, but... I probably should try it out at some point, but I'm not particularly good at those games. I mean, they are hard, but... Oh, thank you for the pet, Snack Marine. Oh. Hi, Mia! It's good to see you here. How are you doing? Alright, I am concentrating on this game where you have to dodge stuff pretty quickly, so... And in fact, I'm just kind of credit feeding through it because I want to just see as much as possible, which I don't normally do with these games, but... Oh, thank you for the pets, too. Yeah, that's good to hear. And I don't think I asked you, Nekarine, how are you doing? I think we're getting pretty close. I thought there might also be like 18 stages, like Space Harrier, but I don't remember. Come on. Oh. Oh, this is stage 18, apparently. Oh, sorry, Yeah, I think I've heard, people being able to mod 360s. Yeah, I actually try to let my ads run for as few as possible because I just don't like them, but... Unfortunately, like, I'd have to manage an actual schedule if I wanted people to just avoid pre-rolls and stuff, and... That's too much effort, so we'll just let the minimum amount so that some people can still not have them. I guess, no, it goes beyond 18, because this is 19. Yeah, I thought I was being chased at first, so it didn't, then I slowed down, and that kind of threw me off enough. Oh no, I pressed no. Okay. I guess that's enough for now. Revo EMAG indeed. So I guess, yeah, we got 2 more games that I want to check out today. Though there are certainly more. I mean, I was credit feeding through, but... Oh yeah, Super Hang-On, the sequel to Hang-On, the very first of the, Super Scalar games. I just want to make sure... Okay, that's fine. Oh yeah, this gives you 4 songs to choose from. Hello, SSFXX. It's good to see you here. Welcome. You're doing well today. Oh yeah. This one does add in more elements. As you see, there are 4 different stages. More songs to choose from. So you can see now my speed is flashing. That means, hold on. Oh, I thought it said Y. Oh, right. Y is not that button. It's the other button. There we go. So yeah, you could use your supercharger. This is another one I enjoy playing, but I don't know how. Well, I don't know how far I actually able to get into it. Although there's the famous Birdland sign. Yeah, the Yakuza 0 definitely did have Super Hang-On. It also did have Space Harrier and Outrun. Yeah, I think it had all of those. Yeah, okay, there's gonna be no way I'm gonna make it at this point. Yeah, there's a lot more and stuff. This certainly takes advantage of the newer hardware and some of the, You know, and I'm just gonna reset. So yeah, you got, got 4 stages. I should probably choose a different track, but this is my favorite one. Outrider Crisis. Once again, MAME gives you very fine control, and I'm not sure if you quite work the same way in the original cabinet, because you have to be tilting the bike a lot. I mean, I wouldn't say that anyone whose taste is another song. Like, the other songs are good, they're just not as good, in my opinion. I don't think it's quite like Outrun, where all songs are mostly equal. I mean, I think it's kind of close. I mean, it is the same composer, but still. Oh, okay, that was my fault. I should have braked there. I was so close to the next part of the stage. So I'm gonna give this a few more tries. There's no actual penalty for using the supercharger, it's just that your bike is harder to control, so you don't really want to use it on turns. No, okay, I got close again. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. This is another just enjoyable game for me. And yeah, the Genesis version did also have like an original mode where you can buy upgrades and stuff. That did give you more to do than just cut down arcade port. Oh, come on. Okay. Whatever, I can take that at least. Not that though. Oh, that's interesting. That checkpoint gave me exactly 31 seconds. Oh, okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna be done with this game, honestly. I'm getting a bit tired. So I just want to show off the last one that I really like. I mean, there are some other games like Thunderblade that I could play at some point, but we're just gonna be playing Galaxy Force 2. For some reason, I'm not sure why main listed with Arabic numerals, even though the actual title screen is Roman. Yeah, so this one also had a fully featured cabinet that's quite an experience, but honestly, it's also just a joy to play. Yeah, I think the Mega Drive version was another of the CRI ones. I have once CC'd this game once, and haven't been able to again, so just make sure I got everything. Yeah, this was on like I don't remember if it's the X board or the Y board off the top of my head, but one of these ones that allowed for more sprites and colors and stuff. Um, Compared to even some of Sega's earlier super scalar efforts.
Starship Command to destroy it. Begin takeoff countdown.
You know what? Actually, I want to hear the full countdown, and I need to get a drink anyway. Oh, I see here. Yeah. Well, I saved you 100 channel points that way.
Starship Command to destroy it. Begin takeoff countdown. Roger. Shield strength maximum.
Thank you.
Fuel. Check.
Oh.
Control. Check. Weapon. Check. Ground crew clear. Check. Seatbelt fasten. Check. All systems. Check.
I guess that's all. Okay. So you know I was talking about earlier how a lot of Sega music was influenced by the Japanese jazz fusion band Cassiopeia. Well, this especially was very much influenced by their album Galactic Funk. Honestly, it's some of my favorite songs. Really, yeah, it's like I just listen to this soundtrack a lot. Although they do have a bit of weird names, like it's trying to tell a story that doesn't quite match the progression of the arcade game, but I think this was the same composer as Thunderblade, which also had pretty bass-heavy songs. This part kind of reminds me of some of the stuff that you'd see in Sonic Adventure 2. So I wonder if that was inspired at all by this. But as you see, yeah, we've got constantly depleting energy, crashing or taking a hit. Also depletes it, and that's what... Okay. I want to make sure I...
Right turn. Left turn.
Well, I got my control set right for the later level because, yeah, you can... Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna reset. Um... Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, it certainly got some very impressive technology. This really was the peak of what you can do with sprites in video games, basically. You know, except for some of the animations, I guess. So yeah, the more you shoot down, the more power you get. Yeah, Power Drift 2 also. It's kind of a shame I didn't really have time to look at that or Thunderblade, but maybe at some point in the future, especially because I do a lot of random arcade streams. I just wanted to do something a bit different here. I considered System 32, but some of those games I just cannot get the controls to work properly. Yeah, Power Drift, honestly, it had a really good Saturn port. And then the first time it was ported, that quality port was brought over here was on the Dreamcast. In Yu Suzuki GameWorks Volume 1. Because I don't think it was in Shenmue at all. I mean, I have Shenmue, but I have barely played it. Oh, what even hit me there? I don't know, but... So yeah, this is a neat stage. It also has a nice song, but for whatever reason, the actual name of the song in the soundtrack that I have is called Defeat, and I'm not sure why. Anyway, yeah, a real nice thing you can do is actually destroy these lava prominences, or whatever they're called. Have you ever played Salamander or Gradius 2, and if you wanted to do that, well, here's your chance. You know, maybe it just has to do with the hazardous, like that. Has to do with the hazardous environment that you're in. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be quite 1CCing this one, but I do want to play through all the stages. If you do 1CC it, you do get a bonus stage. And I don't think you get that if you continue, so... Sadly, you probably won't be seeing that. Especially if I play like this. Okay. Well, I'm gonna restart. We were early enough in there that I feel like I could restart. You know, actually, maybe if I set the dip switch settings to field strength, strong, difficulty, easy. Here we go. Now I might have a chance of actually showing that off. Because yeah, as you can see, this is not a showcase of my skills, certainly. Yeah, I don't even know what hit me there. I mean, I know something hit me, but I don't know where it came from. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try this again. I got hit by too many things. Okay, don't do that either. Big ship doesn't really seem to be doing anything other than just being in our way anyway. Same thing with that one. Is that like an ally? I don't know. Oh, I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it's an ally that powers us up. Yeah, like a lot of these other Super Scalar games, this one also had a very fancy deluxe cabinet. In fact, you could see, you even saw in the settings there that you could set it either if you wanted to go upright.
Right turn.
Or if you wanted to, I guess if you had the sit-down version, but...
Right turn. Left turn.
What? Okay. Whatever. Oh, thank you for the pet, Snickerine.
Shield broken.
What? I don't even know what I hit. Are you sure this dip switch is easy? Whoa. Yeah, that one, when it collided, just kind of hit me, which... Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to figure out, because somehow, when I play this, maybe MAME settings were different, but... Okay, I think I'm gonna give this one more shot. Okay. Let's try that also. Oop, didn't need to do that.
Starship command to destroyer. Begin takeoff.
Okay, now at least I managed to figure out where those missiles were coming from. But okay, I guess that big ship, you can just destroy the different parts of it, and eventually it can, in fact, break apart. Okay, that was my mistake. I should not have run into that. And yeah, I guess you want to take these turrets out before they start firing a lot of shots at you.
Right turn. Left turn. Right turn. Left turn.
There we go. We at least got more energy this time. Hey, Elvis. Elvis, sorry, Elvis. It's good to see you here. How are you? Yeah, I do think this game kind of draws some aesthetic inspiration from Gradius, but especially with this stage here being basically, very much inspired by stages in Salamander and Gradius 2. But that you can actually, destroy these things. I wonder if those falling rocks can hit you. Probably. I mean, at least I assume they're rocks. They're flames, so they kind of look like comets, but, you know, comets are rocks anyway. Actually, probably just a whole collection of them. As we figure out these days. Funny, unlike Space Area, these things really don't aim at you that much.
Shield broken.
Oop.
Right turn.
Okay, that was my mistake.
Left turn.
You know what, if I fell here, I'm continuing. Yeah.
Extra energy.
Wow, right before I got replenished. That might have been how I managed it. That and maybe, yeah, aim settings were different. Not sure how I was supposed to avoid that, but I guess I was just on the wrong side.
Left turn. Right turn.
I don't remember which way you're supposed to go, or if that matters. I don't think it does. I think you just go.
Right turn.
I think you get to the core regardless. In fact, I'd say we're just about to reach that, so... So yeah, this song is called Take Back for some reason, which supports my idea that maybe the composer was trying to tell some kind of narrative that, even though it doesn't really make sense in terms of the arcade game, both in terms of what you're doing and from the fact that, you can choose the stages out of order, so it doesn't really matter. Yep, certainly was something. It's just something that struck out to me when I've listened to this album many times. But yeah, I do like the look of this. This aqua planet. A lot of little plants and waterfalls and oh, what? Okay. I'm not even sure what I crashed into there. I guess this time, yeah, we're gonna go right, since we went left last time. And I don't think it matters, other than maybe you encounter different stuff, maybe there are some different turns you have to make, but yeah, like we wouldn't have had to make that turn, certainly.
Extra energy.
But yeah, this is just a very beautiful game to look at, and honestly, one of those that even without having the full arcade experience, it's still very much enjoyable. The only problem is the early home ports, like not the early one, but the early good home ports, say, like the Saturn. And then there's also one on the PlayStation 2 as part of the Sega Ages line. Those did not allow you to continue at all, so regardless of your settings, if you died, you would have to just start the whole game over. Who knows, maybe like Space Area, this is another game that I can learn eventually, but yeah. I'm not sure why, but because those are otherwise good ports. Like, the PS2 port is one of the later ones in that line. After they stopped making budget 3D remakes and more just put what people really wanted, and started hiring M2. I don't know if there's any ports afterwards that fix that, but I guess might have been a hidden bonus game on one of the compilations somewhere. Don't remember. So now we're in the desert, and this song is called Alone Fighter, even though we're pretty clearly not alone. I mean, I suppose it is a fitting place to put a desert above any of the other environments, but definitely seems like there was civilization here. Not sure what those things are, like that spiderweb thing. I mean, it looks neat, but it can be hard to dodge. I did also like actually seeing that other planet with the rings there. Yeah, that one in the background. Like, I guess it's just very close by that it looks that close from there, and it's just so star system must be pretty close together, honestly. Just how it usually works in sci-fi, because otherwise it would be pretty dull. Especially because we might be entirely within a single star system in this game, probably. And it's called Galaxy Force, but it doesn't seem like we're going... doesn't seem like we're warping at all. Yeah, this could be a moon. I mean, technically, the only thing that really differentiates a moon from a planet is the fact that moons orbit around a planet, and planets have their own orbit around a star. Like, a moon can just have its own atmosphere and everything. I mean, there are, you know, actual moons, like Europa and Titan in our solar system that do have some interesting features, just that they orbit around gas giants, so... Oh, I was almost on stage 2. That one, for some reason, only had one fortress rather than two. So yeah, this is the last stage. This song is just called Tri-Z, or Tri-Z, I guess. Not really sure what that means, but we're above the clouds, so maybe this is a gas giant. I mean, we see some moons around here, so. Like stuff that actually just looks more like our moon than what could potentially be any sort of natural satellite. Because again, that's what a moon really is. Just differentiated because it specifically has a periodic orbit around another planet. If it's big and its orbit is tied to another planet but doesn't actually orbit all around it, then it's a dwarf planet. And then got its own orbit around the star, then it's a planet.
Shield broken.
Yep, Pluto. I remember when they had announced that.
Extra energy.
Yeah, it was certainly weird, but I think it is for the better that we've discovered more objects in our solar system. Gives us more of an appreciation of everything. Yeah. And there's even like some objects that we just haven't named or only named in fairly recent years. Like there's one that was nicknamed Snow White for many years until like I think 2019 when they decided to call it Gong Gong. Actually put it to a poll and then it was named after the Chinese god of water. I almost said fire, but it's water. Which is weird because I think the planet's I think that body surface, I shouldn't say planet, that body surface is actually might be red. Oh. What do I do here? Oh, I guess you have to stay on the top. Yeah, things are getting pretty tight. Like, I think at least with the main controls here, you don't have to set you don't have to really use the throttle that much. Which I imagine in the original cabinet you would. Yeah, I think that's how it works. We discovered a lot of other trans-Neptunian objects that behave in a similar way, so. And yeah, that's Galaxy Force 2. Oh no, you do get the bonus. Okay, never mind. I think the thing is you can't continue in the bonus. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So yeah, we're in this wormhole here. Things look pretty weird. It kind of reminds me a bit of the fire blue texture in Doom. Just the way the colors contrast with each other. That one's pretty infamous. In fact, I'm not sure how my bitrate's standing up. I did up it to the maximum Twitch allows, but things probably don't look that good on your end. You have truly entered the bitrate dimension. Okay. And I think I'm almost out, so this might actually be the end. Yep, okay. Yeah, there's no continues here.
Roger. 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 Roger.
Okay, just barely got enough time to put my name there. Yeah, I think that is going to be it. As I said, there were some other games like Thunderblade that I would like to play, but that could be put on for some